Good morning, everybody. My name is Jules, so I work at the International Affairs Department of VVSG, which is the Association of Flemish Municipalities. So we represent all 300 local governments in Flanders, which is the northern region of Flanders. So we lobby for their interests with their levels of government. We support them with their activities, initiatives in the field of international cooperation, international solidarity. But of course, we also work very intensively with our members on the localization of the SDGs, which is also what I will be talking about today. I was not really planning on saying anything about the reporting to the high-level political forum, but since it seems to be the topic of the webinar, I can say that, well, in the previous report, the role of Flemish local governments was mentioned. Also, the role of us, the association, was also mentioned. But according to us, it was not sufficiently stressed. I mean, the crucial role of local governments was not sufficiently stressed in the report. We also believe that the report was more like a collection of good practices, of good examples, and it was not so much an assessment of where we are now and what's needed to achieve the SDGs, you know. So it was not specific enough, according to us. But we hope and we are very confident that in the next report, the role of local governments will be more in the picture. And we also noticed that both the federal and the regional government in Belgium, so the Belgian and the Flemish government, are looking at local governments a lot more than was the case 2 years ago, for example. So they're really looking at local governments for very concrete and practical implementation of the SDGs. So that's what I'm going to have to say about the reporting to the high-level political forum. So, so I'll talk about the localization of the SDGs. More specifically, I will present some of the tools that we developed with regards to monitoring and reporting. We have developed many tools, instruments, recommendations, and so on, but I will focus on a couple of tools with regards to monitoring and reporting. Next slide, please. We started localizing the SDGs pretty early after the signing of the agenda in September 2015. So in 2016, early on, we started giving seminars and workshops on the SDGs. So here you can see a tool that we use quite often for workshops. So we call this the Sdg Circle Exercise. So as you can see, we've put the SDGs in a circle. So there are several possible ways of making this exercise, but the first is to put your municipality in the middle. So, and then in groups of up to 8 persons, civil servants or politicians, doesn't matter. You can write initiatives, actions, projects, etc. On Post-its. And then you have to put them with the right SDG. So very likely one action or project will contribute to several SDGs. So, but then you just put your Post-it with the SDG with which the link is the most clear, and then you write the numbers of the other SDGs to which it contributes also on the Post-it. So at the end of this exercise, you have a nice view of all the initiatives, projects, policy, and so on, which are there in the municipality and which contribute to the SDG. So you have a nice view of the SDGs to which you as a municipality are already contributing and to which SDGs you might need to put some more effort. Other ways of using this exercise is to put one specific activity or one project or one specific department maybe in the middle of the circle, and then check to which SDGs your project or your department is contributing. So this way, this exercise kind of stimulates municipalities to work in a transversal way, so to cooperate with different departments. It also motivates to use an integral multidisciplinary approach for projects and initiatives with an eye for different aspects and different angles. We also have two different versions of this exercise. The regular one is the one on the right. The other one is on the left, which has 3 levels. The middle circle is the one represents initiatives internally within your organization. For example, about procurement or human resources. The next circle is local policy towards the actors within your municipal territory, and the circle on the outside of the circle represent initiatives on the international level. So this is one of the tools that we use very often. Next slide, please. So the main work, here you can see other initiatives that we have taken. So we have written a declaration of commitment, which is signed by almost 80 municipalities right now. We also published several publications, like the one on the right, Local Support for Global Challenges, which highlights the SDGs and the sub-targets that are relevant for local governments. And then for each of these sub-targets, we provide a list of possible policy actions. Next slide, please. So the main work on the localization of the SDGs is done within the framework of our SDG pilot project. So together with a very diverse but highly motivated group of 20 pilot municipalities, we are going through a very intensive trajectory project, 3 years from 2017 until 2019. So we have one more year left. So in this project, we explore and we experiment with methods for localizing the SDGs. And the ultimate goal is to contribute to a coherent local policy for sustainable development by structurally integrating the SDGs into municipal policy making. So using the SDGs as a framework. So we organize thematic SDG meetings with civil servants from our pilot municipalities. In the project, we work on 3 tracks: awareness raising, sensitization, so to speak. The second one is politics, and the third one is policy. We have developed a lot of very cool stuff. We organized a couple of very cool campaigns for raising awareness on the SDGs. We are also dedicating many efforts to convincing local policies to work with the SDGs, to convince them that the SDGs are very important. But today I will mainly talk about the third track, policy making, and more specifically what we have been doing with respect to monitoring and reporting. Next slide, please. The main goal of the policy-making track is that the SDGs will be used as a framework for the formulation of the new multi-annual strategic plans. So in Flanders, local governments are obliged to write multi-annual strategic plans for 6 years. We have set our eyes on the municipal elections of October 14th, which we view as some sort of a window of opportunity. We recently had these local elections, and now we are very actively supporting our pilot municipalities with a number of tools, instruments to enable them to use the SDGs as a framework for these new 6-year strategic plans. So these plans will be elaborated in the course of 2019. Next slide, please. Now, in Flanders, the development of these plans is compulsory, and the municipalities also have to use specific software for these plans. So what we have done is, in very close collaboration with the Flemish government and also with these software providers, we have elaborated a set of SDG codes, which will be integrated into the software. So that way, our municipalities will be able to attach corresponding SDG codes to the actions in their 6-year policy plan. So this will make it possible to very quickly produce a report of all actions and the SDGs to which they contribute. So secondly, yes, next slide, please. Here, yeah, I don't know if you can read it, but here you can see a tool for self-analysis that we developed, which the administration can use to start the discussion on about the SDGs with colleagues, with supervisors, with politicians as well. So this is basically a tool for awareness raising within the municipal organization, but it also has a policy component. So it's basically an instrument for self-analysis. So it helps to figure out what initiatives are already present that contribute to the SDGs. So on the left, you can see questions like, is there an SDG working group within your community? Is there a question or?
No, I think somebody joined and we had a little technical issue, but you can continue.
All right. So this instrument helps to figure out what initiatives are already present that contribute to the SDGs. It helps to figure out on which SDGs the municipality wants to work in the future. It also gives concrete, very practical ideas on how to start working on the SDGs in your municipality. And it also provides the possibility to draw up a roadmap with several steps to start working on the SDGs. So this tool has also been translated to English, and you can find it on our website. Next slide, please. So third, and well, we consider this to be one of our most important tools, one of the most important aspects of our work on planning and monitoring. We have developed a very extensive set of local SDG indicators. It's an Excel file with several sheets. So here you see the first sheet, which provides an overview of 54 local indicators, which, according to us, cover relatively well all of the 17 SDGs. So in the first column on the left of this image, you can see the 5 pillars of sustainable development: so people, prosperity, planet, peace, and partnership. In the second column, you can find the corresponding SDGs, and then you can find the 54 indicators that we've selected. I have to admit that it's kind of a subjective exercise selecting these 54 indicators, but well, we believe that these cover relatively well the whole spectrum of the 17 SDGs. But there are many more indicators. So next slide, please. So on the next 5 sheets, one for every pillar of sustainable development, you can find more indicators. So here you can see the first part of the people pillar, which starts with SDG 1, ending poverty. So we have listed and gathered indicators at the level of the sub-targets, the 169 sub-targets. In total, we have 199 indicators. So for each sub-target, we provide at least 1, but sometimes up to 7 local indicators. Now for each indicator, we provide a short description of the indicator, its relevance for local governments. Of course, very important, the source where the data can be found. Also the units, so percentage, numbers, etc. Is provided. And we have also have a column, the last one, where we make the link with the SDG targets of the Flemish government. So in order to enhance policy coherence between local governments, Flemish government, we also provided the link with the SDG targets of the Flemish government. Then a last sheet provides a list of 28 cross indicators, which are indicators which can be used to measure different sub-targets. So there are 28 indicators which can be used for measuring different, several sub-targets. Together with this set of indicators also comes a detailed manual on how to use indicators, the different types of indicators, and also a roadmap explaining every step from strategic plan to reporting. We also stress that in an ideal situation, the SDG indicators selected from our set are complemented with local indicators and data, both quantitative, qualitative data that the municipality collects itself. So the indicators from this set only, we believe, are not sufficient for actually providing a full report on the advances that a municipality is making towards the SDGs. So it has to be complemented with local information, with local data. That's basically it. Maybe it's, next slide, please. Maybe it's good to know that you can find not all of our tools, but several of our tools are translated into English, some of them also into Spanish and French. You can find these on our website under a tag which says documents in foreign languages, obviously. So, thank you. And if there are any questions, I will be happy to take them.